such an ordeal to get me in school on time every morning because I was like so crazy about what the outfit would be. Even when I was 5 years old, I just couldn't decide. So I always loved it, and as I got older and got into my teenage years, I became more intrigued about fashion, and sort of wasn't totally sure at first in what way I wanted to participate in fashion. The fashion industry is so big, there's so many different ways you could be a part of it. I thought for a time maybe I would want to work in a magazine. I thought maybe I would want to, explore, being a writer, a fashion writer. And so when I was in college, because I went to UC Berkeley actually before I went to Parsons for my design education, I took all the opportunities I could during breaks, summers, to do different internships, and I worked everywhere. My first internship was at a magazine in the fashion department, then I interned at a showroom, I interned for other designers, and that experience and getting to see more of the different ways you can be a part of fashion really helped clarify for me that I definitely wanted to be a designer, and it was very crystal clear. So as soon as I knew that, I just went down that path.
Was there anyone in particular, maybe a teacher or someone at your internship, that really kind of gave you the confidence that you could do it and start your own line?
I have to say, what's pretty amazing is by the time I got to Parsons, I was a little bit older because I had already graduated from UC Berkeley, so I had already done my undergrad. And I went into that program, and I was with other students who were just 18 years old, having their freshman year of college. And there was a handful of other students who were in the same boat as myself, who also had graduated from undergrad. And we became this really small peer group for each other. And I actually feel I got the most support and confidence from those other students who felt I could do it. I actually did not get so much validation and encouragement from any kind of authority figure, but it was actually from that peer group that was the most encouragement. And one of those students actually now helps me run my business. So we've all stayed very good friends, very close.
So this particular collection, what was your main inspiration? You talked a little bit about butterflies, but was there the color, the treatment?
Well, the seed, usually when I'm going into the design process, it'll be sort of like one thing that really grabs my attention. And then I'll do research around that and sort of flesh out the whole idea. This season, I saw a photograph of Mia Farrow on the arm of Frank Sinatra going to the Truman Capote Black and White Ball in 1966. And she looked so beautiful and so modern. That's what really captivated me about it. It was, an image from the 60s, but I felt like it could totally be today. She totally has her pixie haircut. That definitely inspired my casting choice for my lookbook shoot. I got a blonde girl with that short Mia Farrow pixie haircut. And she's wearing a dress that has this really clean line around the armhole and a seam below the bust, and she was actually wearing a butterfly mask in all white. And I think that really kind of started me down the path this season. What I wanted to do was explore sort of cleaner, a little bit mod-inspired silhouettes, but my design universe tends to be very romantic. I like things that feel ethereal. People often use the word fairy tale when they're talking about my collection. And so I thought, how can I sort of be inspired by something that's more sharp and modern, but still hold on to sort of the romantic, ethereal quality of my own design universe. And that's what I wanted to bring together. So I did that. I filled through textures and the embellishment and the print, but by using vivid color, and I think it ended up becoming actually a very interesting modern mix of elements.
Do you feel pressure every season to kind of keep up with what you're known for, which is the pretty dresses, the ethereal, and is it a challenge to keep that, but then to move forward with something more modern, or maybe you've never really done that much color before, but this collection really has a lot?
Yeah, this is definitely the most color I've ever done. I was just really feeling for color. And to your point, I think that, on the one hand, when you are a young designer and you're trying to make your way, it's great that people start to feel you're known for something, or they can start to identify that's the Erin Fetherston look. And I'm so happy that I stand for something that people can identify. Fortunately, I really love all of that, and I love what I do, so I don't feel boxed in by it. But I do think it's important to be consistent and really stand for what your values are, but, try new things too. And I think this was a good exercise for me in doing that this season.
So you had the one picture as your inspiration. From that point, do you do the sketches of the dresses? Do you pick fabric? Do you choose your colors? What's the actual process? What comes first?
Everything is a little bit simultaneous. I wish we had enough time where we could do it step by step, because I think that would be ideal. I would prefer to sort of research the fabric, choose the colors, do the sketches, then go back to the fabric. Unfortunately, we're in such a tight timeline and calendar in fashion that you sort of have to kind of pick everything as you go. And it all happens at once in a way. We're sketching, looking at fabric, developing embroideries, embellishment, all those things take a lot of time. So sometimes you have to start having your ideas about beading and embellishment before you actually know, what is the dress that's going to go on.
What do you do if you're in that process and you kind of feel like you're stuck and you can't really move in any direction? Is there somewhere you go for inspiration?
I think that what happens the more and more you do it is you develop tools that prevent you from getting stuck. So sometimes what I feel the hardest thing about fashion really is the timeline, because it is rather imposed on you. Unlike, every creative kind of work, everyone has deadlines, but I don't know if they're as strict as they are in fashion. Your show date is assigned to you. When you make a collection sell to a store, your ship date is assigned to you. You don't have the luxury of taking as long as you need to get it right, or to perfect your idea, or to find that inspiration. You kind of have to keep going and going. Whereas, if you were writing a book, maybe that book just isn't done until it's done. And so, what I think I've learned how to do for, every year I think I get better, is just I sort of have like an ever-building library of images, things that I like, that I know maybe I'm stuck. I can go back to basically, this huge body of research that I've been building for myself for really, the last 10 years. And usually that kind of helps to just keep the process moving forward.
So who is the Erin Fetherston girl? Who do you design for? Is there a certain, celebrity that you love to see wear your clothing? Who is kind of your target?
Well, I keep a lot of girls in mind, and I think one advantage of being a female designer, and I design what I like, and I love to wear my own clothes, is I can always even start by kind of checking in with myself. And I definitely do that when I'm at the beginning process, like, what do I feel like? And I think being in touch with that is a really helpful starting point. And I always have, this great circle of friends and muses around, and I think about them, and I think about their different body types, and is there a dress in this collection for my friend Sarah? Is there a dress here for my friend, I have another good friend named Erin. And so I do a little bit of a checklist, and I also try and really think about where is she going. I feel that the Erin girl is definitely someone who loves fashion and is really interested and wants things that are unique and different, but definitely wants to keep the sensibility feminine, and at the end of the day wants to look pretty, but wants to feel cool. Like you have something special, something unique, something that a lot of, thought and love was given to. And, to me, a fun-loving girl. So, there's lots of great celebrities. I saw Rachel Bilson wore a dress from my resort collection just a few nights ago. She looked so adorable. That was perfect. And Selena Gomez wore an Erin dress a week or two ago, and I thought she looked incredible. So it's fun. It's fun seeing different people in the clothes.